Good evening, everybody. So, something that is really disturbing is that Jack Smith testified in a closed-door hearing on Capitol Hill today, and he basically said that he could prove that Trump was trying to obstruct justice and engage in a criminal conspiracy during after the results of the 2020 election were made public, and Trump was doing a pressure campaign the whole time within his party and within the American public to stop the certification of electorates. And this also comes on the heels of Reuters publishing a long-form article about prosecutors who were in the Justice Department and connected towards what Trump did in 2021. People are getting death threats and being harassed by January 6th people who were pardoned by the president. And I think I just really am a little bit disturbed, and I'm disturbed because that is something that's unprecedented in our American recent memory, and even in the long form of American history, to be honest. We have reelected a president who engaged in an attempt to overturn the last election that he lost, and that included illegal propaganda and grassroots effort, the grassroots version ending up in violence, to pressure lawmakers and Americans into not accepting the results of a free and fair election in 2020. And that is something that I think we're still living with. We're still seeing the consequences of re-electing someone who was openly okay with engaging in insurrection and obstructive behaviors to undermine democratic confidence in the United States. We have really yet to see the outcome of re-electing that person and the norms that have been broken and what it sends to people who support using brutal force to overturn democratic principles and democratic opinion if it's wide-ranging enough. That is scary. That is really scary for the future of the country. That is why I look at so many other headlines, and again, the Susie Wiles Vanity Fair headline, and Trump said this today, or somebody did this today that was embarrassing or against norms, and all those things. I sometimes have to look past all those things because we reelected someone who engaged in an insurrection to overturn an election in this country. There were people who sieged the Capitol building, and that hadn't happened since the War of 1812. That didn't even happen in the Civil War. So I am really, really sitting patiently wondering what is next, because we are in unprecedented waters. That is an interesting place to be, as we're watching history in the making, but it's also a frightening place to be because we don't know what comes next. And I am just reminded today with Jack Smith in the closed door committee and what he's saying about being able to prove his case about Trump in the classified documents and Trump in the 2020 election interference, that we reelected this person. This person has the highest office in the land after engaging in so much blatantly anti-democratic violence. And by the patterns of world history, it's looking like the US is having issues with wealth inequality, factionalism, ideological factionalism that has mired so many other democracies or democratic-like projects in the past throughout world history. It's a interesting but yes, scary place to be in. And I just wanted to really share that and my thoughts about that. Also, if you would please help us get to 100 paid subscribers. We have about 64, 65 at this point. and we are racing towards 100. And we currently have a holiday deal where you can get 30% off a full year of Stew on This, monthly or annual. And that contribution helps us get closer to 100 paid subscribers, and it helps keep this blog and this content alive. If you value independent media and clear, critical information with a historical mindset, then please consider giving. And happy holidays. Like, subscribe, share, Stew on This. I'll see you next time.